Hello and welcome to the Secret of Change vlog once again. For any of you that haven't seen the first vlog, this series will follow the trip of my partner Zoe and I as we make our way from Canada right the way down to San Diego, visiting transition initiatives for the upcoming documentary series, The Secret of Change. For more information, you can see the link below this, which I'll pop in the About section. And it'll also be at the end of the video. So what have we done since I last spoke to you all? I think last time I spoke to you, we were actually in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in Alberta in Canada, and since then we've made our way across the Rockies, which was a spectacular journey. And where I'm sitting now is Lake Okanagan in the middle of the Rocky Mountains. In one of the lowlands. It's a climate here that I can only describe as Mediterranean, really. It's absolutely beautiful at the moment. And the reason we're here, aside from enjoying this lovely landscape, is that we have been filming yesterday down in Vernon. We're visiting Transition, or Vernon in Transition, I should say. And we had a fantastic day with them all down there. A really wonderful group of people doing some really great things within their community. And what we found was really interesting is that the area that Vernon is quite a typical sort of conservative Canadian town, and it's been quite a long process for the initiative to kind of get going. But what was very apparent from speaking with everyone there was that they are very much doers. They like taking action, and they have a nice spread of people, some of which are more involved with really planning and thinking about where they want to go next and what it is they want to do. And also those that are just really keen to get their hands dirty, get stuck in and do it, and that kind of balance seems to be working really well for them. On the day that we visited them, they were actually building a bus stop right down near the house of Lisa Boone, who I would like to say thank you to hosting us, because and hosting the whole day, in fact. It was really lovely to visit her and meet her family and see her lovely home. And they were building a bus stop organised by Lisa because where the current bus stop is, they've got no shelter, or they didn't have anything there to start with, and now they're building a really nice and decorated bus stop, which sounds, quite a small thing, but it makes such a difference, I think, especially in the early stages of an initiative. What we've found from speaking to people is that often those little acts of putting together something that everyone in the community can use, regardless of who they are, and also doing it in a creative way. They were painting the whole bus stop and making it very bright and nicely designed, which is in quite contrast to a lot of kind of what is typical of public transport and things. And when people see people from initiatives doing things like this, and they'll ask them questions, and they say, "Oh, this is fantastic. Oh, thanks for doing this. This is really positive." And then they start talking, and then initiatives can spread. And that seems to be what is happening there, is that rather than kind of going in all guns blazing saying, we need to improve the sustainability of this community, we need to get better renewable energy, we need to be buying only organic food and all this. Instead, what they're doing is they're looking at what's needed in the community and how they can be a part of the solution to that, and in doing so reaching far more people than they would otherwise. We also had a fantastic interview with Mary Stockdale. Again, thank you, Mary, for that interview. It was really good, and we got some great insight into the initiative. And what Mary talked about, amongst many other things, which you'll be able to see in the upcoming documentary, is how they're trying to look at what is already valued in the community and how they can incorporate that into what they're doing. And one thing is the cross-generational kind of support, and particularly support of the elderly or elders of the community, because that's something that's very much valued in the community already, and that's something that they feel transition can offer. And we saw that when we were down in Vernon yesterday. We saw from children from this sort of height all the way up to people that were much older and everything in between. And it was really nice to see that kind of event. It was very relaxed on a Sunday afternoon. The weather was beautiful, as it is today, and there was a very proactive group of people that were having a very relaxing afternoon, were doing something that really benefits the community and creating that community. And we talked to them about how, a lot of people will say, oh, in our area, there's not much of a community, no one really does anything together. And I think at that point it's really good to think, well, what could I do to do that? Could I invite a few people over for an afternoon or something, create an event that gets people together? Because I think once people start seeing those opportunities, they're often quite keen to take them. So yeah, we had a fantastic day's filming, and we really are in a spectacular location here. I'm very much looking forward to moving on soon. We'll be heading over to Vancouver next. And one thing I just wanted to mention actually was that what's quite interesting about Canada is that it is very much an oil state. It is producing an incredible amount of oil, particularly Alberta next to us, and up in the north where the tar sands are, obviously. And this is in stark contradiction to the kind of sustainability ethos. And what has been mentioned by a few people, both in the Transition Initiative and other people that we've spoken to on our journey, is that people are very tempted, particularly young people, kind of from the age of 20 to sort of 30, are very tempted to go up and work on these tar sands in any capacity, or in these sort of other forms of oil and gas, because it is very lucrative. It pays a lot. But what it's meaning is that people are leaving areas such as this and making their way up to the tar sands, where they're earning loads of money, but actually, and if they were to work back here, particularly tradesmen, they're lucky if they can often scrape minimum wage. And what they want to do is change that. What they want to really do is say to people, look, we appreciate your need to earn and support yourself and your family and your lifestyle. Let's make that happen here. Let's try and create these local economies that actually value what you do here, rather than you having to fly across the country to do something that's quite detrimental to the planet ultimately. So that's one really interesting thing that's come out of us being here so far in Canada, and I'm sure we'll see this develop as we speak to more and more people. But also is the fact that we are BC, British Columbia, which is where we currently are, the province in Canada, is going through an extremely dry period at the moment, and particularly unusual for this time of year. Often these spells of dry do happen here, but not usually for this long. I think a couple of weeks ago it was about 39 degrees day on for every day for about a week, which is not usual at all. And this has led to huge forest fires in the region at the moment. And I don't know if you can see behind me, it's actually clear blue skies here today. There's no clouds whatsoever, but you can see that there's extremely hazy, almost misty, and it is quite early in the morning here, but that's not mist, that's actually smoke from many of the 200 fires that are currently blazing in British Columbia. And I think it's just good to think about that, and how, arguably this is an effect of climate change, and it's happening now, and that's only going to get more and more apparent as we move forwards. These unusual weather patterns. I've been to lots of different parts of the world in the last couple of years, and it's really obvious that everywhere they're experiencing unusual weather patterns, things that are not what has been experienced in the last few decades at least. And it's just a good way of highlighting the urgency of our shift towards a more sustainable world. So yeah, but our next move will be heading down into Vancouver. We will be visiting Surrey down there, and we're really looking forward to that. We've got quite a few initiatives lined up in the area. We've got a few days now into our next day of filming, so we're going to be doing lots of planning, and hopefully we'll be online if any of you want to ask us any questions on social media. Please, as always, feel free to share this video if you would like to. Like and subscribe below, and the website will be coming up in just a second, where you can find out more information. We'll be posting this vlog on there, along with other blogs and photos and updates on our travels. You can also view, we'll be able to view a map soon to see actually where we are, where the last initiative was, and what we're up to next. So I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I hope you're enjoying following the production of The Secret of Change so far, and we will be back with another update very soon. See you soon. Bye bye.